Pause right here. Don't scroll. Don't multitask. This moment was not random. I am the God who sees the prayers you never posted, the worries you carry in silence, and the faith you hold on to when nothing seems to change. You asked for a sign that I'm still working. You asked for direction when the path felt uncertain. You asked for relief from the pressure weighing on your heart. I am answering, not with noise, but with clarity. For the next 17 minutes, stay with me. Push aside distractions. Silence the rush. This is not just encouragement. This is alignment. I am reminding you who you are, whose you are, and where your true provision flows from. If you feel even a small stirring of hope right now, like this message as your quiet yes to God's leading in your life. Subscribe to stay connected to faith that steadies you when seasons shift. Stay, listen, receive. When Scripture speaks of angels, it often shows them bringing reassurance, not fear. Do not be afraid is the message repeated again and again. This message is not about spectacle, it is about perspective. Heaven's voice reminds you that you are not forgotten in your struggle, not overlooked in your waiting, and not alone in your responsibilities. A breakthrough in God's way often begins inside. It begins when fear loosens its grip, when trust grows stronger than panic, when peace starts to guide decisions instead of pressure. That inner shift changes the path ahead. A crown in Scripture often represents identity, purpose, and responsibility. It is not about status. It is about calling. You are called to live with integrity, to make wise decisions, to walk in faith even when the outcome isn't visible yet. This is honor in God's kingdom. You are seen. You are known. You are invited to walk forward with dignity, not desperation. Sometimes we think breakthrough means instant change in circumstances, but often, God's breakthrough shows up as clarity replacing confusion, peace replacing panic, wisdom guiding choices, strength rising where exhaustion lived. These shifts lead to practical change over time. God's provision often comes through guidance, discipline, community, and opportunity, step by step, not all at once. Throughout the Bible, God's provision is connected with trust and obedience. He teaches daily dependence in the wilderness. He leads into stability through wisdom and stewardship. He provides direction before he provides abundance. The message is consistent. Stay close. Stay faithful. Walk in wisdom. If this message is helping you slow down and breathe again, take a moment to like it as an act of agreement with God's peace in your life, and subscribe if you want continued faith-based encouragement that strengthens your walk through changing seasons. Heaven's message is not panic, something big is about to drop. It is, be still, I am guiding you. Alignment always comes before visible outcome. When your heart is steady, your decisions become wiser. When your mind is calm, your path becomes clearer. This is how God leads into lasting stability. The same God who guided people through deserts also guided them into places of rest. The journey mattered as much as the destination, and your journey is still unfolding. Each faithful step matters. Each wise choice matters. Each moment of trust builds a stronger future. Take this message as reassurance, not pressure. You are allowed to grow slowly. You are allowed to learn as you go. You are allowed to trust God without knowing every detail. He is with you in the process, not just the result. Say this quietly in your heart. I am not alone. God is guiding my steps. I will walk with peace and wisdom. I trust His timing and His care. If this message steadied your heart, like it as a simple act of faith, and subscribe to keep your focus anchored in hope, not fear. Stay encouraged. Stay grounded. Stay faithful. Stay still in your spirit now. Because what heaven is doing is not noise, it is alignment. Before visible change happens around you, God establishes something deeper within you. He does not release lasting provision into a life ruled by fear. He does not build stability on a foundation of panic. He first brings order to the heart. This is the angelic message you are receiving. Not just something is coming, but you are being prepared. Throughout Scripture, when heaven sends a message, it is rarely about instant comfort. It is about positioning. Angels appeared to people at turning points, moments when God was shifting seasons, redirecting paths, or calling someone into deeper purpose. And the first words were often the same: do not be afraid, because fear blocks clarity. Fear clouds discernment. Fear makes you run when you are meant to stand. So heaven speaks peace first. Peace is not weakness. Peace is spiritual authority at rest. When God steadies your heart, your decisions become clearer. Your reactions become wiser. Your steps become intentional. This is the beginning of breakthrough. Not a sudden external explosion, but an internal strengthening. God is teaching you to walk differently. You are moving from reaction into reflection, from anxiety into awareness, from rushing ahead into listening closely. That shift changes everything, because when your spirit is aligned, your path becomes clearer. You will begin to sense when something is not right. You will feel restraint where you once would have rushed. You will notice peace-confirming steps you once would have feared. This is divine guidance becoming practical in your life. Scripture describes wisdom as more valuable than gold. Why? Because wisdom protects what provision alone cannot. God is not only concerned with what you receive, He is deeply concerned with who you are becoming as you receive it. So heaven's message is shaping your identity. You are not meant to live as someone constantly bracing for loss. You are not meant to make decisions from fear of not having enough. You are not meant to carry tomorrow's weight today. You are meant to walk as someone cared for, not careless, not passive, but trusting. Trust does not mean ignoring responsibility. It means facing responsibility with peace instead of panic. That is a spiritual breakthrough. The Bible shows again and again that God provides direction before provision. He guides before He gives. He teaches dependence before abundance. He builds character before influence. Why? Because blessing without foundation becomes burden. So God strengthens your foundation. He teaches patience where there was pressure. He teaches discipline where there was impulse. He teaches gratitude where there was complaint. These quiet changes prepare you for stability. Heaven's message is not just about what is ahead. It is about how you walk today. Because daily faithfulness is what carries you into future peace. Small choices matter. Choosing honesty when shortcuts tempt you. Choosing generosity when fear says hold back. Choosing prayer when worry wants control. These are spiritual investments. They shape your heart to carry more without losing peace. God is not asking you to have everything figured out. He is asking you to remain close to Him while He leads. When Scripture speaks of a crown, it often symbolizes perseverance, faithfulness, and identity in God. It is not about display, it is about destiny. You are being reminded who you are, not defined by your past mistakes, not labeled by current pressure, not limited by former seasons. You are someone God is guiding. That identity brings steadiness. When you know you are guided, you don't panic at every change. When you know you are cared for, you don't collapse under every responsibility. You walk differently. Heaven's message calls you to lift your perspective. You may feel surrounded by limitations, but God sees the full path ahead. You may feel like progress is slow, but God measures growth differently. Roots grow in silence before trees grow in height, and roots are what keep you standing when storms come. This season may feel quiet, but quiet does not mean inactive. God often does His deepest work beneath the surface, strengthening your patience, sharpening your discernment, softening your heart. These changes are part of your breakthrough, because a peaceful, grounded person can walk into opportunity without losing themselves. The angelic message reminds you, Heaven is not far from your daily life. God is present in your decisions, your thoughts, your reactions. You are not walking through your financial concerns alone. You are being led step by step. Sometimes guidance looks like restraint. Sometimes it looks like courage. Sometimes it looks like waiting. All of it is direction. Trust grows not when everything is clear, but when you keep walking even when only the next step is visible. This is faith that sustains, and sustaining faith leads to sustainable peace. Breakthrough in God's way is not a flash of emotion. It is a steady transformation. You look back months later and realize you are calmer than before. You think more clearly than before. You respond more wisely than before. That is heaven's work. The message you are hearing now is not meant to create excitement that fades tomorrow. It is meant to plant truth that steadies you long after this moment ends. You are not abandoned in your concerns. You are not unseen in your struggle. You are not alone in your responsibilities. God walks with you in practical ways. He gives insight. He gives strength. He gives peace that guards your heart even when circumstances are still changing. That peace is not denial. It is confidence in His presence. So breathe. You do not have to carry everything at once. You do not have to solve everything tonight. You are allowed to take the next faithful step and trust God with the rest. That is spiritual maturity. That is alignment. And alignment is where real breakthrough begins. Now that your heart is being steadied, God begins to change how you see. Because breakthrough is not only about what enters your life, it is about the perspective you live from. Heaven's perspective is different from the world's. The world says, secure everything now. Heaven says, trust me daily. The world says, your value comes from what you have. Heaven says, your value comes from who you are in me. The world says, fear the future. Heaven says, I am already there. When your perspective shifts, your decisions shift. You begin to act from trust, not panic. You begin to plan with wisdom, not pressure. You begin to move forward with peace, not urgency. This is spiritual authority growing quietly within you. Scripture often shows that God's people walked differently because they saw differently. They did not ignore reality. They simply understood that reality was not the final authority. God was. That understanding changes how you carry responsibility. You still work. You still plan. You still care deeply. But you no longer carry everything as if it depends only on you. You recognize partnership. You do your part faithfully, and you trust God with what is beyond your reach. This balance protects your peace. Because when you try to carry what only God can carry, your heart becomes heavy. But when you release control where it was never yours, your spirit becomes lighter. This is not passivity. This is trust in action. God is teaching you to live from sufficiency, not scarcity. Scarcity says, there will never be enough. Sufficiency says, God will provide what is needed for each step. Scarcity creates constant tension. Sufficiency creates steady faith. This shift may feel small, but it changes how you think every day. You stop making decisions purely from fear of loss. You start making decisions from alignment with truth. That truth reminds you that your life is not random. God is not surprised by your situation. He is not scrambling to fix what went wrong. He is present, active, and guiding. You may not see the full picture, but He does. This is why prayer becomes your anchor, not as a last resort, but as a daily conversation. Prayer realigns your perspective. It reminds you who is leading. It reminds you who is providing. It reminds you who holds tomorrow. From this place, gratitude begins to grow, not because everything is perfect, but because you recognize God's faithfulness even in small ways. Gratitude softens anxiety. It shifts your focus from what is missing to what is already present, and a grateful heart is more open to peace. Peace is one of the clearest signs that your perspective is aligning with heaven. Peace does not mean you have no responsibilities. It means your heart is not ruled by them. Peace does not mean everything is solved. It means you trust God while solutions unfold. This peace becomes a witness. Others may notice your steadiness. They may wonder how you remain calm under pressure. And your life quietly reflects the difference between fear-driven living and faith-led living. This is the crown heaven speaks of, and not something worn outwardly, but something carried inwardly. A life marked by trust, a heart guarded by peace, a spirit guided by wisdom. That is honor in God's kingdom. God is forming in you the kind of strength that lasts, not loud strength that fades under pressure, but quiet resilience rooted in faith. Storms may still come, unexpected changes may still happen, but your foundation is shifting from circumstances to God's unchanging faithfulness. That foundation cannot be shaken. As this perspective deepens, you also grow in patience. You begin to understand that not every delay is denial. Some delays are preparation. Preparation shapes you to handle what is ahead without losing peace. God's timing often feels slower than ours, but it is never careless. He is not only bringing you somewhere, He is shaping you for where you are going. And that shaping is part of the blessing. Because a peaceful heart is worth more than rushed success. A steady mind is worth more than sudden gain. A guided life is worth more than uncontrolled increase. You are learning to value what heaven values: character over appearance, wisdom over impulse, faithfulness over speed. These values create a life that stands firm over time. So as you move forward, remember this: you are not walking toward breakthrough alone. You are walking with the one who sees the full path. You are not striving to earn His care. You are responding to the care He already gives. You are not racing against time. You are being led step by step. This is heaven's perspective, and living from this place is the true breakthrough that sustains every other blessing. Now that your perspective is shifting, the question becomes, how do you live this way every day? Because breakthrough in God's way is not a single event. It is a new rhythm of living, a rhythm of trust, a rhythm of prayer, a rhythm of choosing peace even when life feels uncertain. Heaven's message does not end when the moment feels emotional. It continues when the day feels ordinary. This is where real faith grows. You wake up and choose trust before checking your worries. You pause to pray before making big decisions. You listen for peace before saying yes to new commitments. These simple habits shape a steady life. God's guidance often comes quietly, not through dramatic signs, but through gentle nudges in your spirit. A sense of restraint when something isn't right. A calm confidence when something is aligned. A thought to wait when you feel pressure to rush. Learning to recognize that guidance is part of spiritual maturity. It means you no longer move only by emotion or urgency. You move by alignment. This alignment protects your peace, because not every opportunity is meant for you. Not every open door is your assignment. Not every urgent moment requires immediate action. Wisdom teaches you to pause, and that pause is powerful. It creates space for clarity. It keeps you from stepping into unnecessary stress. It allows God's direction to shape your path. This is how heaven's perspective becomes practical. You begin to value long-term peace over short-term relief. You choose integrity even when shortcuts seem easier. You trust that obedience today builds stability tomorrow. These daily choices may feel small, but they form the foundation of a life that lasts. God is not only concerned with where you end up, He cares deeply about how you travel the path, because the journey shapes your heart. When challenges come, you don't immediately panic. You pray first. You breathe. You remind yourself that God is present even here. That response changes the atmosphere of your life. Problems no longer control your emotions the same way. Uncertainty no longer defines your identity. You are learning to carry peace into situations that once carried you into stress. This is spiritual strength, not the absence of problems, but the presence of steadiness. And steadiness comes from walking closely with God. Some days will still feel heavy. Some moments will still test your patience. But now you have a place to return to. Prayer becomes your reset. Gratitude becomes your anchor. Scripture becomes your reminder of truth when feelings try to lead. This is daily alignment, not perfection, not constant emotional highs, but steady connection. God honors steady faith. He builds through consistency, step by step, choice by choice, day by day. You may not notice change immediately, but over time you will look back and see growth. You will see that you handle stress differently. You will see that your decisions are wiser. You will see that peace returns more quickly when shaken. That is heaven's work within you. And that inner transformation is what prepares you for every outward blessing. Because when peace lives in you, you are able to carry more without losing balance. When wisdom guides you, you avoid paths that would have drained you. When trust steadies you, you are not crushed by delays or uncertainties. This is what it means to live from heaven's perspective, not floating above responsibility but walking through it with faith. You are not meant to live in constant reaction. You are invited into steady relationship, and relationship changes everything. It means you are never truly alone in decisions, never without help in challenges, never unseen in quiet struggles. God walks with you through ordinary days, through work, conversations, plans, and pauses. Every step matters, so keep walking, not with fear of getting everything right, but with confidence that God's grace meets you as you go. Faith grows through practice, peace grows through trust, wisdom grows through listening. And this steady daily walk is where heaven's promises take root in real life. Walk forward in peace. You don't have to rush and you don't have to carry everything alone. God is guiding your steps, shaping your heart, and giving you wisdom for each day. Stay close to Him. Choose trust over fear. Take one faithful step at a time. He is with you, and that is enough.